Hey there, this is Cameron from Commotion.net, and today I'm very excited because I'm going to create this. It's just brilliant. I can't take any credit for doing this because I didn't know how to do it. A guy called Mike Udin, as you can see his name there, created it. I think it's fantastic. It's using the Nitro Man plugin called Thrausi and a couple of effectors from MoGraph. It's just brilliant. It's kind of easy to do, a little bit complicated, but I will hold your hand and guide you through it. So I really can't take any credit for this, but I'm going to do this tutorial. Mike's already done a tutorial, but he's not English, and I thought it'd be great just to kind of replicate what he's done and show you guys how to make it. So thank you, Mike. Good work. And here's my tutorial on creating Mike's little thing with Thrausi. Enjoy. Okay, in Cinema4D, let's get started. First of all, you're going to get a MoGraph text object. My text comes in saying commotion anyway by default, so we're fine with that. I'm going to rename this commotion. It's good to rename stuff along the way so that you don't lose track of where things are and what things are. Next one, I'm going to call this tutorials. Make sure that your spellings are correct because there's no going back on this. You can't change your text afterwards. And the worst thing in the world would be to have the spellings wrong. Let's make these editable by pressing the C key. Select children. And then make all those children editable as well. All that's done is, if you look inside here, it's just made separate objects of the letters. So now we need to go and select all those children again. If I open this up, actually, you can see a little bit better. So let me just open up and you can see what's going on. So when I go to Edit, Select Children, it selects all those. The other way of doing it is to open it up and just hit Shift key and you can select everything. But we'll go to Edit, Select Children, Objects, Connect and Delete, Edit, Select Children of the tutorials, Connect and Delete. I don't really need those anymore, but what we need to do is assign some colors. So in tutorials, I'm going to put blue on the inside and yellow on the outside. And for commotion, I'm going to put green on the outside and blue on the outside. Right, here comes the good part. Let's select both of these, go up to Plugins, Thrausi, and you want to hit Voronoi. Turn that to 30 and then break now. Just take a little time to break up the letters into chunks. I'll stop the recording and then we'll come back when it's finished. Okay, we're done. Thrausi's done its thing. It's broken each of the letters up into about 30 different pieces, or exactly 30 pieces. So that's quite a lot of chunks. What we need to do now is, you can see here that you've got the separate words. There's all the commotion bits and there's the tutorial bits. If you go to MoGraph and create a fracture object, we need two of these. And if we take the bits that say commotion, we're going to drop those into fracture object, and then we'll take the ones that say tutorials into fracture object 1, and then we'll select the ones that say tutorials object delete without children. Okay, so that's got every single piece now of the breakup of tutorials. Same with this one for commotion. Object delete, and what it's doing, it's going to delete these main bits, but it's not going to delete the children of these bits. So delete without children, and we'll rename this. This is commotion, and this one now is tutorials. The next bit of the tutorial is probably the most difficult part. It is actually quite simple, but it feels as though it's a bit difficult. First of all, we'll select commotion and we'll go to MoGraph and add a plane effector. And then we'll go to tutorials and do the same thing. So tutorials, grab MoGraph plane effector. By default, the plane effector moves everything up by 100 meters. So select them both and then make that 0. We'll move them both back by 20, and on the scale we'll click uniform scale and -1. And they've disappeared. Where have they gone? No need to worry. If you now go to fall off and click linear, they're kind of back, but they're not back. When you bring a linear fall off into Cinema4D, this red box, for our purposes, is facing the wrong way. I'm going to correct that by going to coordinates of the plane effector. We've got 2 plane effectors selected here, so it'll affect both of them. And go -90. And when you do that, you get this. So when you scrub your linear plane effector across, makes everything disappear. I'm going to move this up just a little bit. Okay, and what we need to do next is on this plane effector, go to the fall off and go invert. Select them both, and if you scrub through now, it's brilliant transition. Now for me, I'm going to change this just a second, so I'm going to select invert that one and uncheck invert that one, just so that when I scrub across from left to right, the commotion goes off and the tutorials comes on. That's the way I want to do it. Okay, next thing, let's do a little bit of tidying up, and I'm going to call this plane commotion, and this one plane tutorials. And let's put these inside a little folder. I did that by pressing Alt and G, and we'll call this effectors, and then we'll move the effectors just to 0, 0, 0. So they're right in the middle. Okay, we're nearly done. Next thing you want to do is grab a, let's select both of your text layers. Go to MoGraph and select a random effector. Straight away it breaks it all into chunks. Not kind of the look we're going for. So let's go into parameters and set 0, 0, 0. This is where you can have some a load of fun now with this. You decide how it's going to break up. Maybe you want it to break it up that much, and maybe a little bit in the Z as well. I'll spin my camera around just so you can have a look at what's happening. Really complicated now. Looks really good. You want to align your random effector and your normal effectors, your plane effectors up. So let's put them all on 0 and then drop your random effector into the effectors. Now when you pull, they'll all work together. And the reason why that random effector is not doing anything is because we need to change its fall off to sphere, and we'll just make it a bit bigger so it takes care of everything, and we'll bring it down in its width. Okay, I moved it there and I shouldn't have done. I should always move the effectors part now. Really cool. Now if you go back up to your plane effectors, and in parameters, let's add some rotation now to the text. So let's do, I don't know, 269, 270, doesn't really matter. Rotation on the other one, let's do -300 for that one, and let's pull it through. All these figures, they're up to you. You do whatever you want, and you can see as it's scrubbing through now, it's rotating all the chunks. Wicked. Okay, just a couple more steps to do and then we'll be finished. And you can go show all your friends and you can make your own. Let's do some keyframes for this. So let's drag it back to the beginning. Remember, I'm going to put keyframes on the actual... Let's close this up now. Keyframe on the effectors folder, or the effectors null. And then slide this forward. And pull it right to the end. And hit another keyframe there. And play that back. The other thing we can do is also go and add a MoGraph delay effector. And the delay effect is just going to make it look a bit more soft when the pieces all come back together. Okay, just let's check we've got the delay effector in there yet. Delay effector isn't it? Because I had them both selected and I selected delay effector. It puts it in there. You can mess with the strength and also the mode. See what that looks like with spring. That's kind of fun. Maybe a bit too much, too high strength. That's kind of neat. I like that. Okay, the final bit of this is to just grab your text objects and in Cinema4D tags, sorry, in MoGraph tags, grab a rigid body for both of them. And for your first set of text that's displayed, you want to do it to @velocity_peak, and for the second text, which in my case is tutorials, don't make it dynamic. It's enabled but not dynamic. So whiz forward. No real difference there until you go into your commotion bit again, or your first part of your text. Go to effectors and turn off the plane effector. Let's go back to the beginning. Now you see all the little chunks of the commotion bit are now just getting dispersed into space as the effectors go through it. Do a quick render on that. So I hope you can see what's happening there. The effectors go through it, and because we've now got the MoGraph rigid tags on there, as the effectors go through, it's almost smashing the commotion bit up to reveal the tutorials underneath. The only other thing you've got to do now is just add some lights to your scene and you're done. So I won't waste any more time showing you how to set up lights. Get into Cinema4D, watch this tutorial over and over, and I really can't take any credit for this. I wish I could, because it's an amazing tutorial. But all credit goes to Mike Udin, who created this, and I think it's just a wonderful way to use Thrausi and also to learn a bit about effectors as well. So thanks for watching, and there are more tutorials coming soon at commotion.net.